Hello everyone, this is David Gaming and welcome to another video of Languager. And today I'm gonna be showing you one replay, and I gotta say this one is really quick. And this replay is featured on Kong's stream near the end of it. But of course, I'm gonna put the link down there to just so for you guys you can see for yourself for Kong's perspective. This video is just gonna be covering that same replay, but in my own perspective. And speaking of which, you might be asking, was I backseated for that replay for that battle? Well, you might be wrong about that because I ended up going there by myself. Yep, I queue up that match all by myself without anybody backseating. And that's a great achievement because for one, I fought against a player that is like what meta worthy, I would say, like very strong per se. But I kept calm and then I managed to win over the player. Although the one thing that he was flawed on was, of course, reckless. That's all I gotta say. So, anyways, I'm gonna mute myself and I'll get the replay going. So, enjoy, everyone.
不毛な争いを終わらせる。不毛な争いを終わらせる。不毛な争いを終わらせる。
私の強さが足りなかったのかな。
不毛な争いを終わらせる。やり残したことが。必殺！必殺！
帝国と女王陛下のおために大臣にキスがいい。帝国と女王陛下のおために
アシアへの怒りを受けよ。定めの時が来ました。
喧嘩はいけません。 喧嘩はいけません。
芦屋への怒りを受けよ。ほら見て。
私は女王陛下をさっさと消えろ不敬なさっさと消えろ不敬な愚かな誰にも止められん
駆逐します。
引き裂け。ほら見て。
壊れてしまいました。
Well, that was a quick one, wasn't it? So, anyways, I'm gonna break down what happened in this battle. First of all, you may notice that me and my opponent both have Enya, and my strategy during this time is, of course, I was not backseated by anyone. My strategy here is that if my opponent have Enya, I'll ban her first, and this is exactly what I did. So I first banned his Enya, and then my opponent banned Ymir as the first ban, which in most cases is really a mistake. It's literally a mistake because that gave me an opportunity to pick Enya first. And this is exactly what I did, and he chose Bright Summoner as the first pick. And then I began to ban his DPS, like Isolde and Ice Abyss. They both are pretty dangerous. And I secured my Enya, which unfortunately she couldn't do much in this battle, although she just healed for my team. That's one thing she's best at. But of course, copying units is a big deal. Yeah. Anyways, in this match, I don't really need to copy because the win is already in my bag, which is pretty hilarious. If you've already seen the replay, that is. Anyways, he deployed his poly, and this is the infantry poly. You might be thinking, why infantry? Well, it's because this poly is equipped with Balance Blade. So you can imagine that she's going to have a bigger AoE, but weaker overall damage, and also defense too. Yeah, I banned Ymir and Ishin because I don't want to deal with these nonsense. And I put to play my Jace as the second pick because he is great on this map. Bright Summoner and AO were banned, unfortunately, which is fine. Don't care. And then Bernhard deployed on the third pick. And then I banned his Z2 and Lemia because I don't want these two to cause problems for my team. And I deployed my Isolde as my third pick. And then my opponent banned Apo and Andy. I call the Godham Apo now because that's the one name I could easily remember. So yeah, these two are banned, and again, this is the weird ban because for one, Ice Abyss is not banned yet. And he picked the Clotaire, which is somewhat decent, although he's really outdated. But what I mean outdated is that he is an old unit, but still usable in PvP, surprisingly, because of his fire damage as well as those fixed damage that he inflict on his 3C. Yeah, that kind of stuff. That is really, really devastating, if not well prepared. And I banned Celica and Grand Shield because Celica overwhelming heal that can be problematic, and Grand Shield potentially like disable my guard or tank, I would say. So I'm not gonna take chances, even though this Grand Shield is infantry, which is a bit interesting. Usually Grand Shield should be flyer, right? But For some reason, this one is infantry. I might be missing something, but I kind of feeling the infantry one might have a bulkier stats, but overall, it's not a great class for her because her mobility is actually significantly lower. So, anyways, on the fourth pick, like I said earlier, I picked Ice Abyss because it's his fault for not banning her. Like, she's just too broken for her own good. And he banned my Adenkyoumo and Christian, which is, you know what, fine. I don't really need them anyway. And then Virelia gets last picked. And I chose Tyrantel, last pick. And we'll let this battle commence. So here's some key element to this battle. So you might be thinking, like in the replay, like why did Jace survive? Well, there's something in mind that might be end up being like a theory, I would say. But anyways, in case you guys didn't know, this Enya I have, the gear enchantment I gave her was actually Tree of Life. So yeah, that basically means that their defense stats is significantly increased. I would say like 20%. I would say like I think that was the cause of Jace surviving Virelia's 3C, which is pretty nuts if you think about it. So let me go through what their stats are. So Virelia, this is her stats and her skills. AoE oriented, which makes sense because that's what she's best at. Clotaire, same thing with the 2 AAs in the skill, plus the 3C. And there's Bright Summoner with the Holy Dragon Breath. Yeah, Holy Dragon Breath. The Hymn of Light, which is her 3C, and then the Contract Summon, which is her signature Unicorn Summon. And there's Polly, Infantry Polly. I believe she is partially tank as well. With the 3C that can rush, plus with the bounce wave she can rush a bit further. And then there's Bernhard with the recent patch where his casting is out, I mean. So now he will be able to act again one more time than he normally would, which is pretty nice. But here's the thing, like what people said about Bernhard's casting, even though he is good now, but the thing is he does lack the mobility after using the act again from his faction buff. In case you guys don't know why, well, it was because the casting that he got was only boosting the faction buff effect. So like, what I mean boosting it is by of course giving him act again, but in exchange, he won't be able to move that far. But without any outside help, but since he is paired with Polly, I could see some potential with this one. But in this match, you already see what happened, so I'm not gonna too deep on that one. Dive too deep, I mean, yeah. So anyways, here's Isolde. My Isolde. Looks pretty strong with the stats. Tyrantel, this is what he looks like. And there's Ice Abyss. Enya, although she is 3 stars for me in this battle. This, yeah, as you can see, it is not really that great, but at least it is something. And then there's Jace. And by the way, you may notice that Enya's one of her skill, like the 3C, is currently on cooldown. Well, that's because it is a game design. So yeah, it's basically the game doesn't want you to summon on the first turn. Like honestly, could you imagine if you could summon on the first turn, especially in PvP? That will be absolutely broken. Like, like could you imagine if that was actually possible? Like the game lets you summon an enemy, summon a copy unit. But of course, there's a range of how you can activate this because like initially, I think many people thought that Enya is gonna copy you no matter where you are, but no. She will only copy units that are near her, like 3 blocks at least. So she's not as broken as we thought. Well, many of you thought actually. And also since the skill, I think this is the only skill that start on cooldown, which is a interesting gimmick or I would say mechanic, which also makes sense because like if you think about it, having Enya be able to summon first is gonna be it's gonna be nasty, which means that it will leave your opponent no breathing ground, like for real though. Anyways, let's start this match. So yeah, without speaking further. So right away he rushed Polly immediately. And a stun should go off, but unfortunately it went on a unit that is immune to it. So I think that was Tyrantel, if I'm not mistaken. Let me rewatch that. I think it was Tyrantel supposed to get stunned there, but since he is Bonarashi, he is not able to get stunned. Yeah, it looks like it's on Tyrantel, which is pretty nuts. Don't you think? Like the RNG, it will choose one unit by random, but wow, the game decided to choose it on Tyrantel, and he is not stunned. So yeah, that ability is kind of a waste. And I took this opportunity to like use the act again to destroy Polly because I don't want her to open up more opportunities to attack. Although I should have chilled there, but I had to kill her. And this is where the Bright Summer comes in. Action buff. And also that unicorn spawn kind of saved my butt there, because if this unicorn spawned right in front of her, I will be dead for sure. Because this unicorn could in fact reach Enya from that far and then kill her off. But since this unicorn is right behind her, I am safe. Yeah, I was worried that this unicorn is going to spawn in front of her, but nope. The game decided, you know what, maybe I should let LW Gaming win this one, so they just teleported this, it just summoned that unicorn behind her to keep my Enya safe for whatever reason. But anyways, and right here he attacks my Isolde, which the unicorn was able to do. So I use this opportunity to pull this Bright Summoner forward so I can reach her easily. And yeah, since that unicorn killed off my Isolde, that means no act again on Bright Summoner. And then I used her 3C to fly backwards. And then at the same time freezes Bright Summoner. And I chain Jace and Tyrantel for the next attack. Yep, here comes the big AoE, which ineffective. Although the fixed damage could be a bit of a problem though. And I put the Prophecy of Fate on Jace's 3C. So after he uses it to deal damage, he's going to clock that skill for the next use, which is pretty nice. And very important later, of course, which makes sense. And I activate the Prophecy, which prompt Enya to faction buff. And then now Jace goes into attack. Killing off Clotaire, just like that, and then get that skill back immediately. And here comes Bernhardt with the casting active. Yeah, after using that, he gets to move again. Or I should say act again, I would say. He was able to move because of like one block negate. And I use seal to seal off Bernhardt, which although it doesn't really matter, but I'm not taking risks. And this is where this Tree of Life shined. Although Enya a bit dust there, but that was enough to save Jace from dying. And I went in for the counter splash with the counter splash with the Ice Abyss, freezing Bernhardt and do some damage against Virelia, and some damage against Bright Summoner. Yeah, all that stuff. Like he's gonna have a nightmare after this, honestly. And also this Jace here is absolutely nuts. Like this Jace is on 0% HP, and that was just enough to kill Virelia. Like honestly, I don't usually have faith with 0% units, but unless if the enemy is pretty weak, I use that opportunity to to attack whenever it's possible. And at this point, even if I did use teleport, he still dies. So I decided maybe I should let him go. I don't want to like waste any more time, so I destroyed the remaining targets with my remaining units. And then one thing SRM noticed is that he realized he is on the losing ground because his burnt heart is getting permafreeze by Ice Abyss, and the unicorn is barely going to do anything against Tyrantel and Ice Abyss. So yep, he had no choice but to run away. And that was a based on what Kong said. This replay is hilarious, like hilarious ending, and I agree. It was pretty funny, at least for me, not my opponent, sadly. Although, anyways, hope you'll enjoy your time and happy holidays, everyone, and I'll see you all next time.